Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. Thank you for logging in. Today we are going to be doing an expert chat on basics of digital marketing and how can you kickstart a career in the same field. So this expert chat, I have scheduled it in the following manner. I will spend about first 10 minutes talking about the basics of digital marketing. For those of you who are new to the field and are wanting to switch from a different stream to the stream. And the next about 20 minutes, I will be addressing questions that have come from the audience. They are broadly divided into four categories. The first one is how can I start my career or restart my career in digital marketing with work experience, without work experience. Second aspect, which was brought about, was content marketing. So, how can you improvise on content marketing? Where do you start from? Third is budget in digital marketing. And last is what are the best ways to go from traditional marketing to conventional marketing to digital marketing. So these are the set of questions that I have got, and I've bucketed my talk accordingly. If in case I've missed anything, please feel free to drop a note or ask questions while I'm live, and I'll be very happy to answer you. But before we start, who am I and where do I come from? Hi, my name is Kanika Khurana. I'm based out of Delhi. I have about 8 years of work experience. I think, in a very candid manner, I started my career with Morgan Stanley as a banker. My heart was not into it, so I started a venture. I was all of 23 when my friend and I started a venture called Closet Edit. It was a platform for women to resell shoes, bags, and accessories. We had to make a tough decision to put operations on halt in 2017, and then I went to business school. I'm a graduate of Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, and after that, currently I'm working with CaaStle as a program manager. I have a small team of about 2 people, and I've been working for them about 2 years now. So my experience of digital marketing primarily comes from my time as an entrepreneur, when my friend and I were setting our online portal. So I came from banking, having studied economics, and then I just decided to do an e-commerce platform. You bet I didn't know anything about digital marketing or how can I gain customers. So everything was really on the go. Everything was a lot of experimentation and a fantastic learning curve, right? And I think that has been something that's close to my heart. Understanding my customers, understanding how can I serve them better, understanding how will they like my product better, and implementing strategies around that. I continue to do that today in my job. My primary role is around data analytics, which means that I study the consumer a lot, right? So why is she coming to the platform? What is making her buy what she's buying? And what type of product she's buying? With an eventual goal of serving that customer better, with the bigger hope that she's a retained customer to my platform. So, with that, my experience is primarily B2C and around e-commerce related. So, a lot of my examples will probably be from that time. So, however, I try to generalize it in a larger spectrum. But again, if you have any questions and something not resonating with you, please feel free to ask questions. I'll be very happy to answer. Okay, so with that, I think we can kickstart digital marketing. Right. So when digital marketing comes to your mind, I think a lot of people interlink it or interchange it with social media. Yes, that is true. Social media is one of the pioneers of digital marketing in today's time, but it's not the only one. And that's what I'm going to be telling you about. So digital marketing is essentially connecting with your consumers at the right time and the right place, which today happens to be the internet. We are constantly in and around the internet, be it because we are on WhatsApp, we are on Facebook, we are searching on Google, we are on Instagram. That's where our key attention is. And therefore, there's a lot of focus of bringing customers and having digital marketing strategies to gain their attention on the platform that they're active in. That said, social media is not the only platform, right? So what is, I think in some of your questions, someone asked me that, if I'm already doing conventional marketing, which I assume is print, or perhaps print is the most traditional way of marketing, or word of mouth, then why should I switch, right? Why should I move to a more digital platform, or why should I do something that involves the internet? Well, the first, foremost, and the only reason is reach. The kind of audience that you can reach when you are doing a traditional form or conventional form of marketing versus how you can reach the number of people digitally, there's an exponential difference, right? Also, the second thing is that because of digital marketing, sorry, you can really understand your consumer better. So you can understand that what are the habits of these customers, when do they log into my platform or Instagram page, what kind of content are they reading on my blog, and basing on that you can make digital marketing plans for them, right? So having set a basic base of digital marketing, I will now get into further detailing. I will be touch basing on four types of digital marketing, four mediums of digital marketing, sorry. First is email marketing. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. When you are on a website, so I'll give an example of fashion. It happens to be close to my heart, and also the industry I work in. Suppose you're shopping on Myntra or you're shopping on Shopcluse. They always ask for your email ID as a login, or a pop-up comes up that leave in your email ID and hear from us, right? Why do they do that? That's how they are collecting their database. With every time some person goes in and signs up their email, they make a broad email database to which they can therefore do email marketing. So email marketing is essentially promotional form of marketing wherein you can share either content. So there are two types of emails that you will receive from companies. First will be probably graphics, right? So Nika is a great example. Every time I open Nika, I want to click on something. So the graphic will be a dress or a top or a product, or shampoo, hair care products. And then there'll be just something cute, funny around it, depending on what is the objective of the post. And you can click on it. So, right. So when you click on it, then you reach the website. So this is a form of an email marketing which is using graphics, and this is called lead generation, because you have my email ID, the company has my email ID, they sent me an email, and now I'm going to the website. There is a chance that I will end up making a purchase. Therefore, I become the lead to the website. The other form of email marketing is only text. So, there's this digital marketing agency that sends some really amazing personalized emailers, right? Something very small. It always starts with my name, dear Kanika, and then a story. So they don't outright sell their product, but there's a story around the product because they want to engage the customer. And then it might have a link to the website, or it might have a link to the product they're talking about, but there's nothing visual, right? So again, depending on who your customers are and how you want to sort of reach out to them, you can decide between a graphic or a digital. Second form is, of course, the form that is much spoken about and we all love, social media marketing. This is again divided into three platforms, all platforms owned by Facebook, namely Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. So you'll see a lot of advertisements when you're scrolling on Instagram or you're surfing on Facebook. And this is a way for brands to promote themselves on social media platforms. WhatsApp is not really, as of today, does not promote ads, right? However, if you have a Facebook page, you can create a business account on WhatsApp. So you'll realize that all three platforms in one way or the other are linked. And so in a social media setting, in a social media marketing setting, there is mostly graphics or pictures, because there are now our attention to span is very, very low, right? So you'll see a lot of graphics, you'll see a lot of images, because that's how they're communicating, that's how a brand is communicating with its customers. And again, social media, since it's driven by photographic memory and only space for photographs, you'll only see a graphic or a photograph in the content, and less on the text, more on, or even if it's text, it's very less words. So you'll see, suppose if there's someone you follow on Instagram, right? Let's talk about cooking, because everyone's cooking in COVID. You see that there are mostly photos of food, but one or two photos that are of text. It's primarily like a very quick recipe or something quirky to around cooking, right? So this is what companies are resorting to in today's time. Third form of marketing, SEO, or search engine optimization. So Google, the place where everyone searches for everything under the sun, right? The search bar, wherein you type, say, find me a little black dress next to my house. These are keywords. And then the websites that show up are your search, output of your search. So brands put a lot of time, emphasis, effort in making sure that their landing page or the websites that you see in the search below the search bar, they are on the top one page. They're on the top first page of the Google ranking, because, well, let's believe it, we don't really go to page 2, 3, 4 of Google. We just, between the first 10 websites that we see or a product that we see that we search, we end up buying or liking one. So it's a constant work or know-how of how my website, my blog, my created content shows up as on the first or maximum second page, and how can it come up in search. So it's a lot about using the right keywords, right? And making sure that they are optimized in a way that your search results are one of the top few. The last form of marketing, which is actually very popular, which has become really popular in the last half a decade or so, influencer marketing. I think when you think of influencer, the myth is that influencers are celebrities. Initially, if you think traditionally, brands only tied up with a film star, a cricketer, or someone very, very well known to promote their product, because they know that the celebrity will resonate and will ring a bell with its customers and the audience at large. However, in today's time, it's not just limited to celebrities, actually. Or if I may, there is a new definition of celebrities. Now, on the basis of followers that you have on platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can be an influencer. And why? Because any post that you put, anything that you write, it actually reaches out to a huge number of people. So you can influence them. You can influence them to buy. You can influence them to think differently. You can influence them to perhaps make a new habit, right? These form of, in the fashion world, these are mostly bloggers. They were mostly bloggers. Now there are also lifestyle. There are also lifestyle celebrities that are coming up and talking about different products. A hack here: when we did Closet Edit, we reached out to a lot of influencers, and since we were a startup and we didn't have all the funds in the world to spend on marketing, we did barter, right? So you post for me, I post for you, you promote my product, I promote your product. There's no exchange of money, but we can leverage on each other's following, we can leverage on each other's products and help each and make a transaction, right? So I found that very effective. You leverage on my follower base, I leverage on yours, and let's get the ball rolling. And that's, you'll see a lot of brands in today's time, instead of tying up with celebrities, are using the influencer marketing route. So every time there's a new brand launch, you will see that they call, whether it's skincare or fashion care, you will see that the brands call, they do a blogger meet, because they know that these bloggers have a loyal fan following, and therefore they will be able to influence their followers to come and try a brand or a product. So this is one form of marketing. And I think, just before I take on all the questions, two very interesting things I see in COVID-19. First, you see a lot of brands, even brands and bands, both are doing a lot of Instagram live, right? So you'll see something new happening on some other page every single day. Coldplay, for example, was live on Instagram. To give you an example of a band, to give you an example of a brand, I recently came across a brand whose CEO was doing a live just to talk about what's happening and how are they getting by COVID-19. Why are they doing this? To engage with their customers. So when you walk out of COVID, you remember that there was someone who spoke to you, and this is such a direct connection that you can make with someone that the chances of you remembering that conversation is very high. And the second thing I'm noticing in COVID is through digital marketing platforms, brands are reaching out in a very customer empathetic way, right? So they're reaching out to tell you, look, we care for you. We know it's a hard time, but we will get by this together. Again, a very, very strong way of building long-lasting relationships with their customer. So these are just two trends that I saw and I thought I'll talk about. Now I will quickly move on to the questions. So I think the first part, right? A couple of you asked me, I am starting my career, or I'm about 30 years old, I'm a housewife, and I don't know how to start. Or someone asked me, I spent 10 years in the Indian Air Force, and I'm looking to start my career in digital marketing. First of all of you, this step is going to be a great start. Trust me. And secondly, age no bar and experience no bar. Of course, if you have digital experience, it helps you, but it is definitely not a make or break, right? And there is so much content available online that you can quickly, even if someone else had a head start, you can have a head start as well. I'm gonna leave you with three things, right? First, you should be very sure why you're choosing digital marketing. It shouldn't just be that because it seems to be the fad right now, you want to do it, but you have a genuine interest in it. And I'll tell you why. Because if you have a genuine interest in it and you're restarting or starting a new career, then it'll go a long way. Second, if you are sure that this is what you want to do, then I feel there's a starting point will be to do a different set of courses. There are platforms such as Coursera, Udemy, where you can look up basics of digital marketing, because I think nothing trumps knowledge. The more you know in today's time, the less it is, because the trends are so dynamic that you always have to be on top of everything. And third, so why would if there are already so many digital marketing people, then why would someone hire you, right? Only if you're up to date with the trends. Only if you go to an interview and you tell them 3 things that are happening in the market and they're not aware of, right? So I think it's to be active in digital marketing, you have to be constantly on top of your game of what is happening, what are the new trends, which is the new platform. For example, Instagram Live is the latest thing right now, but what is the next thing that will come up that'll engage the customers of a certain company? So I feel like once you have this chain of thought in line, you can kickstart your career. That said, I will be sharing links and I'll share with the JobsForHer team. I'll share a link of courses that you can do at a beginner level, and then, kind of kickstart from there. Also, for those of you who ask me that I'm working from home and what sort of jobs can work from me, I think 2 types. First is content curation. So if you're good at writing, and content is king in today's time. So, you just write blogs. Once you have done the courses and have your ground ready, then you can write blogs, you can create content for social media posts. So because all of that, creative writing is something that's really interesting and it's coming up. And the second thing that you can do is, other than knowing social media marketing, you can also learn graphic animation, and you can create graphics from home. I feel these are 2 low-hanging fruits, not easy to achieve, let me not undermine that, but might just be easier to achieve from a work-from-home setup as opposed to other aspects of digital marketing. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If not, please feel free to ask me. Second is content. So people ask me that, I started a blog and I don't have a lot of followers. Or someone asked me that I do content for a startup and I don't know how to engage, right? So I think, and also, okay, content marketing can be SEO, can be emails, can be blogs, and can be cross collaboration. So, for those of you for the one of you who asked me SEO, look at cross collaboration, look at writing blogs, look at writing emails. I don't know if you're already doing that, but these are again low hanging fruits that you can leverage on and reach out to a larger set of audience. Um, how do you get more? Someone asked me that, how do I get more views on my blog? So to incentivize someone to come to a standalone blog might not be easy. However, what you can do is cross collaborate. Put the links of these blogs on Medium. I'm not sure if you're using that platform, but that's a great way to garner attention and gauge people who are already active in reading, right? So you can use Medium, Quora. I'm actually not sure of how active Quora is today, but it's definitely worth a try. And LinkedIn. And see, the key with anything that you do, with content, it has to be consistent. You can't just start writing today and then not post for the next 2 weeks and then start again. Whatever cycle you follow it consistently, and that's how you will garner views or interest in your write-ups, slowly but surely. So these are some ways that you can do that. Okay, the next person asked me that I want to go from traditional marketing to digital marketing. I think great thought, definitely the start. So now for me to answer this question, I need to know, is your business new? Is your business old? What is the age group that you are targeting? Why am I asking this? Because all consumers are at us in a digital marketing funnel are at one point or the other, right? And they are at a very nascent sort of an initial stage where they are just aware about your company. Okay, they just know that company X exists, or they're interested in your product, right? Okay, I know about company X. I'll perhaps think the the products look like this, or they are at the decision phase. I know about company X. I'm interested in the products, and I'm on the decision phase where I want to buy or I don't want to buy a product, or they're at an action phase. So when you're contemplating, should I or should I not, buy a product, then you're in the decision phase. Now, depending on where your customers are, you can market to them accordingly, right? First, that's the first step. Second step will be then, what is the objective of this marketing? Are you getting new customers? Are you making more money of existing customers? Are you exploring a whole new segment of customers? See, the more I emphasize on this is less. And if you are not aware of who your customers are, or if you're not aware of where they are active, then digital marketing is like a well, and you can just keep throwing money in it, but it won't give you returns. For you to really for digital marketing to give you returns, you should really be able to answer these few questions. Who are my customers? Why am I reaching out to them? Where are these customers more active? And what is my objective of using the platform that I'm using, right? So once you have all this answered, right? So for example, your customer base is, 24 to 30-year-old women who are working professionals, right? So once I know that, then I know the next step. Okay, if they are 24 to 30-year-old working professionals, they are probably more active on Instagram than on Facebook, because Facebook right now has a slightly older generation that's active. Okay, they are 24 to 30. They're active on on Instagram. They're active, and then I'm reaching out to them to engage with them. Then I should talk about something that's of their interest. Versus I'm reaching out to them to sell a product. Then your content will be different. if you're going from a traditional or conventional form of marketing towards digital marketing, you have to have done a lot of groundwork, right? And also be a little more open-minded to experimenting on different platforms, right? It may be that for your brand, your company, your product, your startup, one platform is working better than the other. So for example, email is better, working much better than, for example, Instagram or Facebook. But the only way you'll actually ever get to know that is a little bit of hit and trial method, right? But if you have your groundwork done, if you have had all the basics set out, then the chances of you finding a platform that really works for you are much higher, as opposed to just putting in equal amount of money and effort in all directions. So that is something that I would say for people who wanting to go from towards a digital marketing setup for their firms. And most importantly, right, make sure that you are tracking the return on your investment or the return on your effort in case it's organic. Because I think when I was doing it, when I was in my startup, I don't think I thought about it as much, and this is a learning that came by heart. So see your engagement numbers, see where are you engaging with your customers much more than other platforms, and experiment. You can experiment between different types of emailers, different type of content, different times of posting, and then on the basis, say, give it a 2 month 1 to 2 month time period, and then see which platform is working for you. So just a tip: be patient. It'll take some time to figure it out, but if you really want to build a strong customer base, then it's better to go slow but steady, as opposed to quickly run out of your funds. Yeah. Last segment of this conversation is around budgets. So a lot of people ask me that, I have limited budgets, or I have not been able. Sorry, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a dedicated team, and as I have a lower budget, how can I product in an organic way? That's Rima. And Shruti asked me, approximately what percentage of budget should be spent on digital marketing, right? So, I don't think there is a right or wrong percentage of money that you can spend on digital marketing. It again depends on what is the objective of your social marketing. Do you want to acquire customers? Do you want to, sell out a new product? And then on that basis, you should figure out how much money you're willing to spend. If I were to do my budget, I would probably say, if I'm spending 100 rupees to get a customer, then that customer should be at least spending 150 rupees on my platform, a bare minimum, right? So at least my cost of acquisition of that customer should be less than what the revenue I get from that customer. So when you have your unit economics done, so you can think about it in a very structured manner, but a very basic manner, right? Because you know how much probably a customer is spending with you, and then you can work backwards. But again, it's important to do these benchmarks. It's important to have this sort of a setting done, because it gives you context. So you set a benchmark, and then you can plan your budget accordingly, right? Because your budget is always going to be a function of how many customers are you wanting to acquire. If you are aggressively wanting to expand, then sky's the limit. But if you know that I want to have 10,000 customers by the end of 3 months, and this is an approximate cost of acquiring the customers, then therefore a proportion of that will be through digital marketing, and others probably some other form of marketing. So think about it, right? It's not a magical number, but if you think long and hard, you'll be able to understand what is the customer giving you, and how much are you paying to get the customer, and what should be the nature of that mathematical equation. If you are low on budget, how can you go organic? I think cross collaboration is a great way. Tie up with brands, tie up with people, because I believe even if digital marketing is as amazing as it is, word of mouth, is very, very authentic even in today. If you're able to create that awareness for your product, for your brand, then you'll go a long way. So try with cross collaboration, and second is again low hanging fruit content. Be very consistent with it. Write blogs on your website in case you have one. Write blogs on your LinkedIn. I'm sure you'll have a LinkedIn profile on Quora, and then cross connect everything. Right? You can write it on LinkedIn and probably put a link to your product or a link to your page, something like that. So that therefore, and be consistent. Right? Don't do it one day and then forget to do it for 2 more weeks. Do it consistently over a period of time, and then I'm sure you'll find results. So think of what are the low hanging fruits for you. When we were going organic, then I did a lot of cross collaboration, I did a lot of content, and I also did PR. Right, so by PR I mean we got printed in the print media, but again we try to really scout for the right places to be spoken about in, and try to collaborate in whatever way I could. Cross collaborate with bloggers. Again, this is very specific to what is the nature of that you do, and therefore the medium can be defined accordingly. Okay, so with that, I'm going to summarize my session on digital marketing on this note, which is it's very important for you to understand why you're doing digital marketing, why you're using the platform you're using, who are your customers, where they're active. I have seen, in being in the startup ecosystem, I've seen a lot of brands, they make great products, but because they know less about their customers, they're not able to excel the way they can, right? So for anyone who's wanting to do digital marketing for their firm, do a lot of homework before you set to decide which is your platform or medium for you. And secondly, for people who are wanting to start in digital marketing, this is a great opportunity, right? Everything is going to go digital as I see it, because after COVID, your offline transactions are going to be very limited and everything is going to be online. They will need someone to market their product. Use this time to do all the study, do courses, be up to date with trends, follow some influencers on LinkedIn, see what they are talking about, and learn along the way. Always have an open mind, and always, I personally believe if your concepts are right, you'll always go a long way. So this is a good time for you to rethink on your concepts and then go a long way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day ahead of you. I hope this was helpful. In case not, please feel free to ask me questions. I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you. Goodbye.